A while back, I made a post here in another page about my curiosity regarding how many men she's been with, and that's how one of the saddest moments in this marriage happened. We were drunk at home after a night out, and I asked her. She said she had never counted but estimated it must have been between 15 and 20. Man, I can't help but keep thinking about her past. I met her when she was 22. Man, 22 years old, she's been with so many men. I guess she lied, and it was probably even more. I've been feeling really insecure. I'm even considering getting a divorce. My peace of mind is worth more. So, let me ask you, am I a jerk for thinking that my wife is slutty?
Hello, Sai here. I just have to ask. Are you mad yet? Because I am.
I'm even considering getting a divorce.
Are you really considering ending your marriage because of how many people your wife slept with before knowing you even existed? Is this for real? Let's see some comments because things will get worse.
I understand, but if this is something that affects you, I think you should have had this conversation with her before getting married. Like, if it was a condition that a woman to be your wife must not have had so many experiences, I think you should have set that condition for her earlier. I know it's a painful topic that we want to avoid, that's why I prefer not to touch on it, but now you're married and committed, and you have a history together. Regardless of that, forget about it, dude. You've been together for years, I imagine. Think that it's in the past, and it's better that she had those experiences before so that she's sure you're the right one now. Many marriages end because a person lacks sexual experience and wants to try more, and infidelity happens. One less worry for you.
Actually, there's a study that shows that women with more than 10 partners are more likely to cheat, and casual sex has a more significant emotional impact on women than on men.
Study from the research center I pulled out of my ass.
Commenter B returns with a link, which I will include in the description for those who are interested, along with a quote from the page that says,
Women reported significantly more regret, loneliness, unhappiness, rejection, and negative feelings about oneself in comparison to men following their most recent hookup experience. It is important to note that this finding is consistent with research from an evolutionary perspective, which suggests that women experience more regret than men because short-term sexual relationships are considered less advantageous for women's reproductive success, and conversely, advantageous for men's reproductive success.
The quote doesn't address the issue of cheating, but it indicates that casual hookups may lead to more frustration for women than men. But keep in mind that it suggests, it doesn't prove shit.
You probably didn't enjoy it as much as she did and feel inferior or less experienced. This feeling is not pleasant, and I understand. But, man, I don't know, it's just experience. Wouldn't you have slept with 20 to 30 women if you had the chance when you were single? I used to be bothered by this, but today I don't mind anymore. Over time this ends up losing its relevance.
Well, this looks like jealousy.
Now that I've seen your other posts, you're a jerk not only for this, you're a jerk in life. What the fuck, dude?
It depends, man. If the guy was more reserved and all, it's much better to find a partner like that. A woman with a promiscuous past has a high chance of cheating on you, just like a man. There are several studies showing that. I don't think it's a certain insecurity. It must be strange and disgusting to know this. Imagine a man or a woman who didn't have a past like that. It must be frustrating to find out.
Look at the guy's other posts. He has a fetish for being a cuckold and is addicted to cheating on his wife with sex workers, and he has a bruised ego due to having a small peepee. It doesn't even make sense to judge his wife.
Hey, a couple of things. First, if it was so important, why didn't he talk about it before getting engaged and married? Second, can you send some of those studies? It's not a silly question. I just found the information a bit random and unlikely. So if it's real, I'd like to read and inform myself about it.
Random person letter F send a link. I will put it in the description, but unlike the other one, this is fully in PTBR.
I read the article, but it doesn't relate early sexual maturity to potential cheating habits. It does associate it with drug use, early pregnancy, and alcohol consumption, but I didn't see anything about cheating.
Oh, but I didn't mention the article for that purpose. It was because I had mentioned that the average age for first sexual intercourse is around 15 years, and someone asked for the source.
He is referring to another reply that he did in another branch of comments replying to this one. Random person G explained the situation and F confirmed that he replied the wrong person. Here is what F said.
Just because she had an active sexual life doesn't mean she's promiscuous. Let's do a basic calculation, assuming she started having sexual relations at 15/16, more or less the average according to the WHO, that's around 3 partners per year or 1 partner every 4 months. For a young person who has contact with many people, that's not much. She would be promiscuous if she had sex with 20 different people in the same month in the alley behind the bar. In conclusion, cheating involves many other social characteristics that are more relevant than the number of partners. It's not her fault that the jerk in question didn't have as many relationships as she did, and having fewer relationships is not wrong either.
Are you curious about the math? Well, I was, and he is right. If she lost her V card at 15 and met him when she was 22, that give us 7 years. Since 1 year has 365 days, 7 would have around 2,555 days. Since she had 22 experiences in those 7 years, that would mean that in average she had 1 XP every 127 days, and that would be 4 months and 1 week.
Man, your wife is 20 years old and has been with 20 guys. That means if she lost her virginity 4 years ago, at 16, an average age for women to lose their virginity, she would have slept with a different person every 3 months. That's not being slutty, ha ha ha, it doesn't make sense.
Of course, the World Health Organization, WHO, even made a statement about it, and there are several studies showing this. A person who has had sexual relationships with more than 10 men or women tends to have a higher tendency to cheat, in addition to having difficulty in forming emotional attachments to their partner. He was wrong not to ask before. She had a promiscuous past, but the fault is his for not asking earlier.
The famous source, I pulled out of my ass. My dear, there is a study that says women with brown nipples are more likely to cheat. However, did you investigate how this information was collected? Was it only in first world countries or worldwide? Is this a result that is consistent in similar studies? Those misogynist pigs come up with everything to blame women for their own shortcomings. What the fuck?
Now come here and tell us that your cheat on your wife with hookers is acceptable, right? Guys, look at his profile and you will see. Go ahead and get divorced so she can enjoy her sex life more instead of being cheated on by a pathetic person like you.
Very idiotic. The guy still has posts saying he would like to see his wife with another dude. Why? To throw it in her face later that she's been around? If you don't respect your wife, have a minimum of character and end it.
Dude, why the hell do you care about how many other people she's been with? I bet you are one of those guys who thinks, pussy gets loose, aren't you? My friend, if she's with you, that should already be enough to make you happy. But seriously, go ahead and get a divorce. She doesn't deserve to be with a disgusting and imbecilic guy like you. And no, I won't be polite. I'm a woman, and I'm disgusted by men spewing chauvinistic ideals and trying to act innocent. Oh, my insecurity. Go get a therapist, you sick fuck.
Okay, that's enough. And I still need to give my opinion on this matter. By the way, I tried to look for his profile, but it appears that his account has been deleted.
A while back, I made a post here in another page about my curiosity regarding how many men she's been with.
He also omitted the fact that he had posted about his insecurities regarding having a small peepee and his interactions with sex workers.
And that's how one of the saddest moments in this marriage happened.
The saddest moment in this marriage occurred when it began. In this situation, I genuinely hope that they consider getting a divorce because she deserves better. I find myself agreeing with Miss Nipple commenter. I have no tolerance for misogynistic individuals, and I'm bewildered by the persistence of such mentality, especially in this day and age. This post is from 7 months ago, and although it doesn't specify the user's age, I presume he is in his 20s. It's puzzling that someone born in the 21st century still clings to these outdated beliefs. The number of sexual partners that she had while single does not pose a threat to their marriage. The real danger lies in being married to someone who believes it does. At present, there is no indication that she is being unfaithful, but Mr. Small PP seems more interested in discussing his own extraconjugal sexual encounters under a pseudonym. This situation also highlights a frustrating double standard, the perception that a man with multiple partners is considered a player, while a woman with a couple, just a couple, is labeled a slut. I've never comprehended these double standards and have always strived for equality between men and women. In the end, we encounter yet another example of fragile masculinity, who fails to understand what it truly means to be a man, and has the inability to recognize the worth of the amazing woman beside him. It's a sad situation, and I hope she recognizes the red flags and chooses to get away from him.